Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans on this Sunday, December 27, 2020. I would like to bring you said information pertaining to the Nashville bombing that took place on Christmas morning. And if you need verification for the storyline, please log on to the Daily Mail. Mother, 29, given 2 free homes worth $409,000 by Nashville bomber, 63, says she had no idea he signed property over to her a month ago as feds probe if he blew himself up at the AT&T building because he feared 5G is spying on Americans. On Saturday, reports surfaced that local man Anthony Quinn Warner was a person of interest in an explosion that occurred on 2nd Avenue in Nashville's downtown at 6:40 a.m. on Christmas morning. 3 people were injured and severe damage was reported in the blast. Cops had been called to the area a short time before amid reports of a shooting. However, when they arrived at the scene, they discovered a parked RV playing a recording that claimed the vehicle would explode in 15 minutes. Officials now say they believe the blast was the result of a suicide bombing. The incident has led investigators on a wild chase to determine the identity of the RV's owner. Warner reportedly owned a white RV similar to the one which exploded, and federal agents were seen outside his house Saturday removing items from the basement of the home. Authorities will swab Warner's mother to determine if he is a match to the remains found at the bomb site. DailyMail.com can exclusively reveal Warner gave the $160,000 home away for free last month. Michelle Swing, a 29-year-old woman living in Los Angeles, was given the house, but it is not known whether she had ever met Warner or whether she had family links to him. Swing claims she had no idea that Warner had signed over the property to her. Warner had also transferred her a nearby house worth $249,000 for free in January 2019. A 29-year-old mother who was given 2 homes worth $409,000 for free by the man identified as a person of interest in the Nashville Christmas Day bombing has said she had no knowledge of the property exchange. DailyMail.com can exclusively reveal. Michelle Swing, who lives in Los Angeles, claimed she was unaware that Anthony Quinn Warner, 63, had signed the $160,000 Bakertown Road property raided on Saturday away to her last month via a quit claim deed. Swing's signature does not appear on the November 25th transfer. In the state of Tennessee, you can deed property to someone else without their consent or their signature or anything, Swing told DailyMail.com. I didn't even buy the house. He just deeded it over to me without my knowledge, so this is all very weird to me. That's about all I can say. However, Warner also transferred another home on Bakertown Road to Swing via a quitclaim deed last year. The $249,000 house had previously belonged to a member of his family, and Warner had only been in possession of it for 5 months before again giving it to Swing for free. So he had that for, that's interesting, possession of it for 5 months. Let's make sure I'm repeating that correctly. She later also used a quit claim to give the house to another person. Swing declined to say whether she had ever met Warner or whether she had family links to him, adding, "I've been told to direct everything else to FBI." FBI agents swarmed the $160,000 property on Saturday morning in their hunt for the mystery RV driver behind the devastating blast outside Nashville's AT&T building. The Christmas morning explosion is now thought to have been the result of a suicide bombing after it was revealed that human remains have been recovered at the scene, and officials said they were not looking for another suspect. According to WSMV Nashville, the FBI are working on tips that Warner was paranoid about the idea that Americans are being spied on using 5G, which could explain why the RV exploded outside of an AT&T transmission center. An oddball who had a paranoia about 5G. What we know about Nashville bomber Anthony Quinn Warner. On Saturday, Anthony Quinn Warner was named by local media as the person of interest in the Nashville Christmas Day bombing. He was a Nashville resident who lived in the suburb of Antioch. A property linked to him was raided on Bakertown Road, Antioch, on Saturday afternoon. This house was transferred for free to 29-year-old Michelle Swing on November 25th, but she claimed she was unaware of the exchange. Property records link Warner to the house back to the 1980s. He has also transferred a $249,000 house to her for free in January of 2019. This home was also located on Bakertown Road, just a short walk from the house raided on Saturday. The house previously belonged to a Charles Warner, his father, who passed away in 2011. It was then transferred to his brother Steve. Warner acquired the house in 2018, a month before his brother's death of cancer. Swing also used a quick claim to give the house to a person named Betty Lane. Warner's mother, Chris, is still alive, and he also has a sister named Teresa. The Daily Beast reported Warner was previously arrested in January of 1978 and found guilty of an unspecified felony charge in 1980. Neighbors described Warner as an oddball who was seen tinkering with antenna on his roof and placed no trespassing signs around his house, especially around the RV that sat in his driveway. FBI agents are now said to be investigating tips that Warner was paranoid about spying on Americans through 5G. He used the Beckertown Road address as the location of his custom alarm business, which specialized in burglar alarms. The alarm fitting license for the business, Custom Alarms Electronics, expired in 1998. Warner was now self-employed in IT and carried out subcontract work for a local real estate agent who spoke to FBI agents on Saturday. Warner is described as an unmarried and without any children. Widespread Wi-Fi and cell phone outages hit Tennessee and Kentucky after the blast, bringing down local 911 and emergency service phone systems. The telecommunications issues also caused problems for Nashville International Airport, which were forced to temporarily shut off some flight paths as a result. Agents also spent time searching another location on Saturday, as well as Warner's home, and spoke to a Nashville real estate agent who called in to say Warner used to work for him. Steve Friedrich told WSMV that Warner was a subcontractor who had done IT work for him for years. He claimed agents asked him about whether Warner had spoken about 5G in the past, but he said no. Nice guy, you know. He was a techie guy. Don't mean anything negative about that. He would do this thing and leave. He didn't bother anybody. He did his thing and leave, Friedrich said. Officials on Saturday did not identify a suspect as the raid on the home began, but unmarried Warner has been named in media reports, and a vehicle matching the one used in the bombing is seen parked up beside the two-bed house in Google Street View images. According to Newsweek, authorities will swab Warner's mother to determine if he is a match to the remains found at the bomb site. The second home that Warner had transferred to Swing was also located on Beckertown Road, just a short walk from the house raided on Saturday. The transfer took place in January 2019, just months after he had acquired the house in an intra-family exchange. The house originally belonged to Warner's father, Charles, but was passed to Warner's brother, Steve, after Charles' death in 2011. Steve also died of cancer in September 2018, a month after Warner acquired the house. Swing's address in the record of the transfer is listed as Lenoir City, Tennessee, a 2-hour drive from Nashville. In March 2019, she also used a quitclaim to give away the house to a person named Betty Lane, according to county records. According to her LinkedIn profile, she studied marketing and business at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, where she remained working until 2012 when she moved to California. Swing first lived in San Francisco before a move to Los Angeles in October 2018, where she works in artist development at Anschutz Entertainment Group. The Daily Beast has reported that suspect Warner was previously arrested in 1978, found guilty on an unspecified felony charge in 1980. He has been described as an oddball by neighbors, and some reported seeing the RV use an explosion parked outside his home. Tony Rodriguez lives in the second home within the duplex that agents raided on Saturday, but told the Washington Post that he never spoke to his neighbor and did not know his name. He alleged that Warner kept no trespassing signs around the home, especially around the RV, and was often seen tinkering with antenna above the house. Rodriguez also claimed that investigators had taken a computer motherboard from Warner's house during the search. Another neighbor, Stephen Stone, 61, confirmed that he had seen similar RV parked outside of Warner's place. When I looked out my window and saw all the law enforcement, that's when it hit me that I'd see the camper up there, he told USA Today. Friday's blast emanated from a white RV parked outside the AT&T building on 2nd Avenue at 6:40 a.m. The explosion injured 3 people and caused severe damage to the city's downtown area. Shocking new surveillance video of the explosion shows a police officer had just walked away from the site when the bomb exploded, barely missing finding themselves in the line of fire for flying debris. The event had led investigators on a frantic chase to determine who the vehicle belonged to. On Saturday afternoon, a swarm of federal agents from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives were seen outside an address listed to Warner in the Nashville neighborhood of Antioch. Neighbors reported seeing a white RV parked outside the property within the past 2 weeks. Similar vehicle can be seen on a Google Street View. Search Warner's address from May 2019. According to CBS, at least 2 tips were called to the FBI about Warner prior to the explosion. During a press conference on Saturday afternoon, the FBI refused to identify any person in their investigation. They say they are still pursuing approximately 500 leads and have close to 250 agents and analysts assigned to the case. The Bureau is also investigating whether the blast was deliberately designed to target law enforcement officers. Cops had been called to 2nd Avenue shortly before the explosion amid reports of a shooting. However, they arrived to find the white RV playing a recorded announcement saying that it would explode in 15 minutes. One expert is now theorizing that the spooky recording was designed to bring as many cops and first responders as possible into the area with the intention of killing or maiming them. I kind of think it was probably an idea to get first responders to come in, an ex-NYPD detective Bill Ryan told Fox News on Saturday. 6 cops have now been hailed as heroes after they descended on the area and tried to clear out pedestrians and residents before the bomb went off. On Saturday, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee revealed that he has requested an emergency declaration from President Trump to support ongoing efforts and relief. This morning, I toured the site of the bombing. The damage is shocking, and it is a miracle that no residents were killed. I continue to pray for those who sustained injuries from the blast, he wrote on Twitter. It comes as Nashville police confirmed that they are investigating whether human remains have been found on the site of the bomb blast. According to CNN, tissue was discovered at the scene, and forensic experts are now working to determine whether it is human. It is unclear whether anybody was inside the RV at the time it detonated. The gigantic blast caused damage to more than 40 buildings. New videos showing the widespread impact it created. One shocking clip shared on social media shows an apartment building violently shaking during the blast. A resident told CNN on Saturday, "I've never seen anything like it. Shook everything." Meanwhile, other videos being shared widely on social media show people hiding for cover in buildings along 2nd Avenue as they were warned by cops that the RV could explode. One man was walking his dog right by the RV and heard the warning message emanating from the vehicle. Quick-thinking cops quickly told him to get back before the bomb went off. He told WKRN that it is a Christmas miracle that he is alive. On Saturday morning, the Federal Aviation Administration classified the airspace over the site of the bombing as National Defense Airspace. The order prohibits pilots from flying over the site and a surrounding area of 1 nautical mile. The restriction will stay in place until December 30th. Meanwhile, the area on the ground has still been cordoned off and there is a strong police presence. It's quite a bit, sorry. Nashville Mayor John Cooper says it will be the same time before the 2nd Avenue is open as normal. It will be some time before 2nd Avenue is open. On Friday evening, he announced curfew in the area around the bomb site as investigation continued. A curfew started at 4:30 Friday, December 25th, and it will be lifted Sunday, December 27th at 4:30 p.m., he revealed in a tweet. The blast blew in windows from at least 41 buildings, according to CNN. One building is now partially collapsed. The RV was parked outside the AT&T facility, with the explosion causing network outages in the company's phone and internet services. That issue sparked safety fears as 911 dispatchers were reportedly having trouble identifying the location of callers. USA Today reports on Saturday that outage issues lasted into the evening. It is now believed they have all been resolved. Meanwhile, more information is being learned about the hero cops who tried to clear the area after they arrived to find the RV playing a recorded saying it would explode. They were named by Metro Police Chief John Drake as Officer Brianna. Oh, hold on one second. It kind of logged off there. Mercy, hold on just 1 second here. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. That's funny. Talking about logging off of stuff and then this thing stops all of a sudden. That's spooky. Hold on one second while I grab this article back. Sorry about that. Jeez, this is crazy. Now this is really wicked that this has gone this long and it just jumped off right when I said that comment. Now that's really spooky. Oh my goodness. Very, very odd. Okay. I'm gonna break right there because it's so winded. That's really the gist of the story. It's really about the quick deed that's been given. I want to bring you some other information pertaining to a comment made on Facebook by a young lady who went to school with this Miss Swing, and you can go to the Facebook post when you Google in Miss Swing's name. This is the information that came up. And the source is by Backroom Knox. The alleged Nashville person of interest, alleged quitclaim woman, has deep ties to Knoxville. It is not known why the recent properties were transferred to her. Michelle Louise Swing, from 2005 to 2008, she attended Knoxville Catholic High School. From 2008 to 2012, she attended the College of Business Administration at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, where she earned her bachelor's degree in marketing and international business. She was the festival director of the university's Volapalooza from September 2009 to May 2012. From January 2010 to May 2012, she worked as a business development and support specialist at the Data Flow Enterprises, Inc. of Knoxville. May 2011 to May 12, she worked as a marketing coordinator at AC Entertainment in Knoxville. From 2012 to February 2016, she worked as a senior project manager at Vendini in San Francisco, California. From February 2016 to September 2018, she was a partnership and business development manager at StubHub in San Francisco. In 2018, she started working as the artist development director at AEG Presents in Los Angeles. On February 2020, a house in the 100 block of Bakertown Road in Antioch, Tennessee, was given to her for $0 via a quick claim by Anthony Quinn Warner. We have sent Miss Swing some questions, but she has not returned our messages. She is a social media expert. It is possible she never met Warner. It is also possible that she may or may not be a family member. Warner's mom is being DNA tested. And this said information came by sources of Apollo IO People. And this was a Facebook post by a young lady who attended school with her. Posted this to social media. I guess this is a very winded upload. I'm really sorry, but it was long, and you see my phone just jumped off the article. I guess talking about all this 5G, all this 5G nonsense, jumped my phone off. Ooh, crazy. But just to get to the gist of the story, 2 houses were owned by Mr. Quinn. He deeded both houses to this young lady who was allegedly not giving any information that she knows him, doesn't know him, related to him, unrelated. She is from the Knoxville area, obviously, or went to school here in Knoxville, went to the University of Tennessee. So she has ties to the Knoxville area. Very interesting. Also, Lenore City comes up into the equation. That's just down the road from here. This is just a very interesting tale because now we're having quick deeds done. Why? A house last year in 2019, a house this year in November. This Miss Swing, Michelle Swing of Los Angeles, is saying she doesn't know why he would give them to her, or didn't know that he gave them to her, rather. But that doesn't make any sense because it states that you, Miss Swing, you signed the house over to a Miss Betty. So how can you sign something over to somebody and not have knowledge of your name being on the deed? See, I keep telling you all, everything's in the details. All you have to do is pay attention to the information that's been given to you. This lady is claiming she didn't know of the deed done in November. So are you also saying you didn't know of the deed that was done in that was deeded to the house was deeded to the other house deeded to you last year, because you had to have taken that and given it to a Betty Lane person. Do you understand what I'm saying? So why these houses are being switched from person to person, I don't know. Usually people do this when they're trying to hide property for financial reasons, or, you know, something a person would do if they were married. They didn't want a person to get the property or know that they had the property, or they're trying to swindle the person rightfully out of ownership of something that maybe they also had money, equity into the property. That's what I was thinking. But now we find out he's unmarried. So one would have to wonder why he deeded these properties to this person who's claiming they didn't know anything about being deeded the properties, but yet one property deeded to Miss Swing, she signed it over to somebody else. So she can't say she didn't know about property number one that she turned over to somebody else. See, none of this is making any sense. Now we're coming in with this 5G rhetoric. He thought that someone, the government, whomever, is spying. So this is great for all of you conspiracy theorists and those of you who are anti-government, who've been making little sly comments on my channel about the government lying, doing this, doing that. Now here comes somebody who's radical in the mind and gone in the mind. This is exactly the message I was giving last night in my live. You have fragile-minded people who have mental issues, have problems thinking and processing common sense. And all it takes is for them to start thinking about radical things, and then they lose sight of reality. And this is why I don't divulge and indulge in government conspiracies, because you can lose your way and you can stop being of the world and living in the real world because you're too focused on the what ifs, the what ifs. I think they're doing this. As I've stated before, we are all human. We all make up everything. Church, school, the government, but everybody's not the same. Everybody doesn't think the same. And because a person identifies with a certain group, whether it be a Democrat, Republican, a church group, do you understand what I'm saying? It doesn't mean we all think the same. And that's how I feel about, the government. I don't classify everyone that works for the government as the same and doing the same. So if one person does something wrong or fraudulent that works for the government, be it state or national, it does not mean that everyone in the office or in the sector is doing the same. And this is why I don't, as I tell you all, indulge in government conspiracies, because you can lose your way and you start talking and acting crazy, and you end up doing what this guy did, blowing himself up in a damn RV. And now you got people wanting to say, or someone's made a comment about, oh, it could be the government, they did it. That sounds preposterous. Why would you even think that they would pick this random guy and put him inside of an RV dead? And as I stated in my live last night, how did they leave the scene? So see, this is why I don't like indulging in that type of talk. Like I said, we the people make up every entity known on the earth. And we are not the same. And we don't think the same. And if you had 50 people in a corporation, all 50 don't think the same, and all 50 won't do what the other participants would or would not do, be it legal or not legal. And I'm making this point now that they're bringing up this 5G analogy, or theory rather. Obviously this man was not well, and he lost his way. And he lost his way so severely that he's running around giving properties away, which shows you his mind's been gone for some time, a year at least, putting up signs around his house, which I don't know if that's true, because now some other neighbors saying, no, we didn't see any no trespassing signs, so that's up for interpretation. But the point is, if this is indeed the man, Mr. Quinn, the bomber, he blew himself up inside of an RV, and he could have killed many people. And now they're speculating from this article that possibly he wanted more responders to show up to kill them. And that's from an NYPD source, his opinion. And that's the point of anything when you don't have facts. Everything's an opinion and a perception and an assumption. But that's why I make these statements in my videos. You all think how you want. You do what you want. You say what you want. But I am of a sound mind, and I don't get off in government conspiracies. Like I said, people are people. People will do wrong. People will sin, fornicate, forge documents, lie, steal, manipulate. That's just man. So it doesn't matter if it's the government, if it's the schoolhouse, if it's the church, if it's the garbage man. People are people. And what one person does not mean that other people will do. Because they are affiliated with that person or group, each person is allotted sense to do what he or she wants to do and think how he or she wants to think. And that's just the bottom line. And that's my message today in this video. 25 minutes in. I'm going to hop off of here. I want to thank you all for following me and listening to this crazy information. I will bring you an update, but that's the thing. Who is this Michelle Swing? What is her dealings and relations to Mr. Quinn? Does he know her, not know her? How did they meet? How did she ended up? How did he choose her to deed both houses? Why is she now acting like she doesn't have anything she want to say, only to the FBI? She didn't have knowledge of the deeds, but yet there's a home that she turned over paperwork to another woman. And how is that possible? Because you can't turn over something that you didn't know your name was on in the first place. Michelle Swain, what is your relation to Mr. Quinn? And what the hell is really going on? This is a crazy, baffling story. Before we even come out of 2021. Prayers for Nashville, praying for the first responders, the FBI jumping in, the Memphis field office taking over this case. I hope they get to the bottom of everything. But so far what they're coming up with is odd and crazy. And what I'd like to know is who are the people who gave the tips and where did they get the information about the 5G theory? Somebody's been talking. Somebody knows something for them to even come up with that. Because you see the real estate agent that he worked for said he didn't have any knowledge, or she didn't have any knowledge, or whomever, about any 5G theories. So where did the FBI come up with those theories about the 5G hysteria? Where did they get that information? Because I'm very curious now. Thanks for joining me. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below. This is Everyday Shenanigans. You all have a good week. Mask up, America. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.